Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to Tennis Manager 2022. This is episode number 6. We are into our very first World Tour event. We were invited to an International 80 tournament, which is not the smallest tournament you're going to see, smallest international one, but it's a wild card, and we are invited into this one as, well, literally the last seed possible. We've never been in a World Tour event, so we have no ranking points, and we're up against the 15 seed in this one, and it's qualifiers for the event. So there's 3 rounds of qualifying, so we're not even in the event proper just yet. Difficult matchup, you would think. Let's see if that works out to be the case.
First set.
We are considered balanced for this match. It is just qualifier, so if there's ever a chance that you can get past a couple of opponents anyway, this is that time, as we're definitely scraping the bottom of the barrel in terms of professional opponents here. And we're already up 40 love here in this first one. We go a little long there, but otherwise we are well in control of this match here early on. That just hits the line. Otherwise that would have been the first game, but that one does go long, and we do win the game and now have service for the first time. What can we do with that? We very quickly turn that into 15 love. Being the aggressor is definitely playing to our advantage so far. It's 30 love. I'm loving that we do have the up here in the corner, we do have the ball tracker, the radar that's telling us how fast the ball is being played. The serves, that is. That one goes wide. It's 40-15. Chance to go up 2 love here in this first set. And we've won the first 2 games. Let's go ahead and speed things up as we go along. It is just first qualifier after all. And we're definitely seeing things more balanced than what we have experienced in a lot of our matches. We don't get 6-3 too often. It tends to be 6-0, 6-1, maybe 6-2. So 6-3 is a tougher balance. But we do win that opening set, and we're into set number 2. I think this would be similar to what we face when it comes to the junior 100, junior 300, as this is the very, very, very bottom of what we get of World Tour opponents. Just not much quality, and as fast as we are developing, it makes sense that we are better than the very bottom end, but I think we're having a little too easy of a time here as we attack the net, but we go a little long on that ball. Chance to win the match already without even losing a game here in the second set, and we now get advantage. It's match point for the second time. That one's in play. Working her side to side, but no, back down the middle. Now working her on that side to the other side.
Deuce.
Oof, nice ball there. Can't quite reach that one.
Advantage.
And she's got the advantage on us in this one.
Deuce.
Into the net, though. Gives us back to deuce. Oof, that serve just on the line. Oh, nice ball there. We've really got the advantage right now. And that one, nice, easily played. Just the accuracy doing its job.
Deuce.
Advantage. Net, though. Looked like it might have been wide either way.
Advantage.
Nice ball there. Back to advantage. We have a good forehand already, despite low technical skill. That goes long. Gives us the advantage again.
Let.
That ball.
Game and set.
And we come back across, and there it is. It took us a little while on that last game, but we do ultimately come out on top. It's 6-3, 6-0 into the second qualifier. For the second and potentially third qualifier, we're definitely looking at higher ranked opponents than what we faced in that first round. That is 7, 9, and 10 seed here, all inside the top 700. We'll see if that's enough of a difference in terms of rankings to actually find somebody capable of knocking us out of this thing. It is considered a tough match. Not enough to beat us, though, as we just squeeze our way through. It was definitely a tighter contest, but 55% of points won. She had us beat on the total winners, but too many unforced errors. There might be 8 players remaining in 4 matches, but third qualifying round, if you win it, you are in the tournament proper. All 4 of those winners will be in the tournament proper. So no additional rounds from here. It's on to the tournament itself. So let's see if we do end up qualifying or not. Another tough match. So you can see it looks like where we fit in at the World Tour level at the moment is around 700. As on paper, they're tough, but we seem to have that advantage when we have yet to have that balancing update just yet. This one, not a winner though. So we do win the first set, but we lose the second 2. And like I said, this is right about where we fit in, just in that top 700 right now compared to the World Tour level. Now, on paper, they are better, but it's just that balancing that sets us up for this one. We do lose. We are out. We do not make the tournament proper, but we have had our first 2 victories in World Tour competition. I don't know if that was going to be worth any points, as it was not yet qualifiers. So we'll see if we're still at 10,000 in the rankings, or if we're actually pushing on up into some sort of proper position by having a couple points to our name at this stage. And we've climbed into the top 50 in the junior rankings. We only had one junior tournament, which we won during that stretch, though. That is the short season, the grass season. But in the World Tour rankings, yes, we have accumulated 3 points now. So that does give us a proper ranking from nothing. We are now 1,631 in the world. Another week of training and 5 more attribute points, backhand power, smash, both going up. Footwork and reflexes, both going up. And then we are at level 12 for anticipation. Positioning, balance, serve power, backhand accuracy, all on the verge of going up as well. So our rapid climb continues. 2 weeks later, we're in Ashland, Kentucky, which I've been there. I was stationed at Fort Knox when I was in the Army. But anyway, we have a pretty manageable first round. Dependent on the rankings, of course, they vary wildly when you're outside of the top 100 in terms of the actual quality of players, depending on what kind of tournaments they get involved in, what sort of successes they have. You can have really easy matches, or you could have really tough ones. But anyway, based on the rankings, this pathway to qualification looks easier than the last one. We had 3 opponents in the top 700, and we got past one, didn't get past the other one that we ended up facing. And here we're looking at best top 7, like 740 is the best of these that we would potentially face. So not quite as high in terms of the rankings, but that doesn't necessarily mean much at all. First opponent is balanced, and it's a comfortable victory. Second opponent, just inside that top 800. Again, it's a balanced match, so these ones tend to be victories for us. And comfortable. The third match is another balanced one, so this gives us a pretty strong possibility of actually qualifying for the tournament this time around. And we have it 6-1, 6-1, so pretty comfortable. We are into the tournament proper for the first time. I had another invite for another international tournament such as this one. I declined it because I don't want to progress too rapidly, too early on. So we're going to stick to the junior tournaments following this one. Just kind of dipping our toes into the water and testing it and seeing how things are. Too little, too early, and we already find ourselves with Uni asking for a contract renegotiation. So we have the opportunity to deny her, which is going to make her upset, or we can give her a 2% reduction in the academy share, or a 4% reduction in the academy share, which right now sits at 60%. So it's not like it would cost us much. Let's go ahead and go neutral and give her a 2% reduction, which should quiet her for the time being, as opposed to the 4%, which would make her thrilled. So now we're into the tournament proper. It's the round of 32, the 4 qualifiers, the wild cards that we have, plus 28 other players here in this tournament. Taylor Townsend is the number 1 seed. She is ranked 158th in the world. So it's not exactly the high end, but you can see here the 7 seed is ranked 218th. We're looking at wild cards that are in the top 600. And my first round opponent is ranked 414th in the world. We're looking at even better potentially in the next round. Now, based on what we did in that previous qualifier and really what we saw in this qualifier as well, you would predict that top 500 is going to be a bit beyond our reach at this stage. So we're likely going to see an early exit, if not this round, certainly in the round of 16. It is predicted to be a tough match, and it is a loss. So 5-7, 4-6. Still shocking. I mean, we should be absolutely hammered by somebody at this stage in time. It was a bit too much for us. 4 double faults. You can see we were a little overwhelmed here. We still produced 26 winners and only 24 unforced errors. We didn't get hammered by any stretch, but it was definitely a step beyond where we're at right now, which is good to see, right? We shouldn't be number 1 in the world as a 13-year-old who's literally just learning how to play with low attributes. So it's good to see that there at least is limitations to how good we can be at this stage. So we made it to the tournament proper, but we are out, and I am gonna take a step back from that World Tour for now and focus just on the Junior Tour for the remainder of this season. Another week of training, and again another 6 attribute points: forehand power, volley, and smash, all going up. Of course, they're in that low range where it's easy. Stamina, also low range, easy. We gained a full level 100% just from one training session on stamina. I think I'm going to do that for the next little while because the stamina is very low at just 5. Reflexes up to level 12 though, so the footwork and reflexes are nearly there. The natural fitness, which I'm not even trying to train right now, already climbed another level. It's up to 14. The one worrying thing though is the morale has taken a pretty big hit from only giving her that 2% increase instead of the 4% increase. She wasn't angry, but you can see she's not happy. We've had a couple more upgrades complete in the infrastructure department. We're going to get right into the next one, which is a 2-month upgrade to our stores. So our business center, we're going to push this one up to level 2, which is going to increase the income by nearly 30,000, the expenses by just 4,000, so it's about a 26,000 increase, with 250,000 for the cost. So it's going to pay itself off in less than a year. So with what is complete so far, you can see our sports center remains at a half point. I have not made any upgrades here just yet, though we might get into the paddle courts fairly soon, as it's a very cheap upgrade. In the medical center, we have made, I think, 2 upgrades here so far, and we're still below level 1, but we're climbing. Youth and Scouting is beyond level 1 now, as we did that sports study program upgrade. And then with the multiple business center upgrades that we've completed already, I have 4 upgrades now. Well, 3 upgrades complete, 1 in progress. We have reached 1 full level for the business center. So a lot of rapid progress when it comes to the infrastructure side of things. So we're going to take our first look at the finances and how we're doing so far. And it's really hard to judge things because it's evolving very quickly. We've done 8 months so far, so we've done 2/3 of 1 year, and our global expenses is approaching 2 million. But when you start breaking that down, the sports center, no renovations there just yet, but the medical center, 1/3 of a million, $250,000 in the youth and scouting center, and 750,000 in the business center, you're looking at 1.33 million. So subtract 1.3 from that, and we're looking at 600,000 in expenses over 8 months. But that doesn't mean that our expenses are equal to that, because those expenses change, right? It varies as you add, as these infrastructure upgrades complete. The expenses do climb, right? They go up bit by bit. So where we're at right now, well, the upgrade we just made was what, like 260, 270. So we're looking at probably 70 to 80,000 a month at the moment in terms of expenses. Now the income at the moment appears to be about 300,000. We've had some tournaments, we've made some money, so we don't know how much that is, but it's about 300,000. So, we're looking at a good almost $250,000 monthly in terms of income is what it's risen to already. On the earnings side, we're at 1.82 million. Tournaments have accounted for 17,000 of that. 78,000 to the equipment for sponsorship. 90,000 overall when you add the monthly on that. The sports center, this is the ones that starts to add up and look normal. Medical center, sports center, this income is going to be constant. You could see where that is the majority of the money that we're bringing in, right? Subtract out the tournament income, and yeah, we've brought in a good 1.5 million. Much more. So approaching $1 million in profit already in 8 months. That's just going to get better and better as these upgrades continue on. That's why it's really important to focus on the finances in the early stage, because the tournament winnings, next to nothing. The sponsorship money is a lot more than the tournament winnings. So focus your attention on sponsors, but primarily it's the infrastructure, right? Subtract out that 100K, and we're talking about 1.7 million from infrastructure. That's the income. That's the primary source. So, if you're thinking about playing, make sure you direct your attention early on to the infrastructure, to your ways to make solid money early on, and that's where the big money is at, and everything else will play out accordingly. So we have our second 300 level tournament, and did we win that last one? I think we did, didn't we? We knocked off 3 top 5 opponents, and somehow, for the second time in a row, we have been drawn against Marchenko in the first round of it. Okay, interesting. We start off in the same manner that we did last time. Marchenko goes down pretty easily. It's 6-3, 6-1. I'm noticing there's a bunch of regens in the youth ranks of popular players. Second round, much closer than the first, but it's still a win, 7-6, 6-4. Just a slight edge on the total winners. Almost identical on the unforced errors. I think one of the only differences is we had a few aces, where the double faults was almost identical as well. We barely came out ahead on this one. Top 30 matchup in the quarterfinal. This one, not much of a contest though, as we come out ahead again. It's 6-2, 6-2. I'm hoping that the number 1 ranked junior player, Fruvertova, can beat us, because again, it's too much too early if we are just straight to number 1 in the junior rankings. Tough match on paper, but the result looked all too easy. And I'm not quite sure how we've managed to do that. We only had 4 total winners. Fruvertova took herself out of this match, apparently. 25 unforced errors for her. She was the better player, yet somehow we won 65% of the points. How do I win 52 points? Well, she gave us 25 of those. 11th ranked Maklakova is who we have in the final. This one considered balanced, so we have made enough progress that we are approaching top 20 in the junior rankings already. So yeah, development and match balancing both need some work. Wow, both sets going to tiebreakers, but both sets resulting in a favorable outcome, and we are tournament victors, 300 level, and that climb up the ladder continues. Here's a quick look at the statistics so far. 64 matches played, and we have won 92% of them. Overall games, 68%. Total points won is approaching 59%. Service points is at 62. Return points at 55. Tiebreakers at 66. It's all going our direction. And here's a breakdown of our career so far. We've only did a single 30 level tournament, which we went straight to the semifinals on and lost. And then the 60 level tournaments, you see only 3 times did we come out anything other than the winner. We made the final once, we made the semifinal once, and a single first round exit. And we won 7 out of the 10 tournaments that we appeared in at the 60 level, which was worth 60 points, by the way. 100 level is worth 100 points. The only one we've participated in was a victory for us. That was back in week 21. Week 2 was a 200 level tournament, which we got knocked out in the first round of. So at least at that stage, that was beyond where we could compete at. But since that time, later in the year, weeks 25 and now just this week in week 34, we've had 2 300 level tournaments, and we have come out on top of both of those. That now means we have 10 career victories. Of course, at the pro level, 3rd round qualifier loss and round of 32 loss in both of those 2 tournaments that we participated in, which were 80 level tournaments. We have a total of 9 points accumulated, which is high enough to almost crack the top 1,000. 5-2 career record at the women's level, but that junior level, 60-5 overall. Up at 42nd in the ranking. I would imagine after this latest tournament and the 300 points we accumulated there, compared to the overall ranking points that we have, you would imagine that's going to see us move up the rankings a fair bit, probably up inside the top 30, I would imagine. We're in Canada for a 300 level tournament. We've already gotten through the first round, second round, and potentially the quarterfinals are looking a lot tougher. Let's see if somebody can knock us off. This one on paper is balanced. We absolutely dominate this match, 6-1, 6-0. The quarters is against the 3 seed, number 8 ranked Jabo. Let's hope. Come on. I want a little bit of a challenge here. It's too easy at the moment. 6-0, 6-2, still too easy. And for the second time, we've got a Nagunye semifinal with a Fruvertova final ahead of us. Can either of them put us in our place? Nagunye is supposed to be a tough match, but we go out and dominate again, 6-1, 6-0. And for the third time, we've beaten Fruvertova quite easily, 6-0. It's 6-1. We're going to go ahead and stop at this stage. We are, again, just flying along here and winning too easily. So hopefully between today and the next time I sit down to do some recording of this one, hopefully the update comes in, fingers crossed, and we see some rebalancing to this one, because this first season has been far, far too easy. Not enough of a challenge being offered. I love the game, but it's not balanced right now. So here's to hoping that we do see that balancing. We also have a little bit of cash to spend at 300,000. We will see what we can do infrastructure wise on that one. The upgrades are going to get a lot more expensive. the competition as we get into the World Tour is going to get a lot tougher. It's not done and dusted, right? We're not suddenly the world number one. We're beating the junior number one, and hopefully with some rebalancing, it'll go back the right way, and she'll beat us, and we'll face some difficult challenges on our climb, on our rise. For now, it is quite clear, at least, that the World Tour top 500 are beyond our skill, but yeah, a good junior should win against, weak junior opposition. But the best juniors should be beating somebody who is 13 and just coming along and clearly, not there on the technical side. Physically, I would imagine we're good enough to match with Fruvertova at this time. Mentally, we're probably a match, but technically she is much more gifted than we are, so we shouldn't be beating her. So yeah, hopefully that balancing comes soon, but we will continue on in the meantime. But with a handful of days coming until I do my next round of recording for this one, I'd like to see that update sooner rather than later. Otherwise, I'd get bored with this pretty quick if we dominate right into beating the world's best players at the World Tour level as soon as next season. That would be too much for me. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.